Hello, everyone. 95.168 million cases worldwide. I am on the front porch right now because it is snowing pretty badly, and the snow is starting to come onto the front porch. 405,000 deaths here in the United States. And with 24 million people infected, that's over 7% of the US population. And this has been here for a year now. Vaccines are out, although they do have their issues. And they do, in fact, result in the deaths of some American people. It's not a large amount, but it's still some deaths. Many are reevaluating, how social media can affect, the well-being of people. After President Trump got banned from all social media due to claims of him inciting this violence. 10 years ago, people were in the streets, praising social media. Because, at that point, Twitter was only out for about 5 years, and Facebook was only out for about 7. So, it was relatively new. Now that it's been out for a little while, we know more. We know what people could do on there. We know how fast lies could spread. And they're saying that no president has ever used social media quite like him. Whether post is often, content-wise. That's what many people are saying anyway. They were talking about, on CBS News Sunday morning, they were talking about it was some vice president. It was Herbert Hoover's vice president. I don't quite remember his name, but he was the first Native American vice president. And that was pretty significant. They were talking about, how, his father was white, his mother was Indian. Okay, this snow is coming right here. His mother was Indian. His mother died when he was only 3, leaving him in the care of his Indian grandmother. Now, I think his tribe was forced south, and his Indian grandmother asked him to stay with his white family. Now, if he kept going with his Indian family, he may not have survived to be vice president of the United States, but he flourished when he was with his white family. He really did. He was an amazing lawyer. He was elected into the U.S. House of Representatives, and then he became Herbert Hoover's vice president. Announcing, he was saying remarks, during the 1932 Summer Olympics. He passed away in 1936. Obviously, Herbert Hoover didn't get a second term because FDR took over. Because it was the Depression. So, That is, the most diverse vice president. Every other vice president in U.S. history has been a white male. Whether that stays true or not, really. There's still 3 days. I don't know, though. And then they're also saying, hey, should a president be allowed to be impeached after he leaves office? And I'm going to say no. I really don't think that is necessary. Truly, because, they've left office. And they should not be reviewed again until they run for a second term. Really, being impeached while out of office seems unfair, in my perspective. So, yeah, I don't know. Others are saying that it's totally allowed and that he incited the violence, when truly, I don't think that that evidence really is strong enough to truly prove that. But, yeah, and then the Senate, well, here's how this would work. The Senate would need a 2/3 majority to impeach Donald Trump. And then they'd have to vote again whether or not they should bar him from joining U.S. government in any way, shape, or form ever again. And that only needs a 51% majority. Yeah. Yeah. Historic history happened in the past couple of weeks. Yeah. And the security down in the Capitol, that is still very high. I think there were only 9,500, I think this is soldiers, for Barack Obama's inauguration. First time. So yeah, this is the most troops that have ever been out in the Capitol. Ever. Definitely in the past 100 years, for sure. I don't know how many exactly were out during the Civil War. But, yeah. Definitely the most troops we've seen there in our lifetimes. Yeah, I think that about covers it. It's snowing pretty profusely out here right now. Not a lot has been coming out to the porch. There's been a few gusts coming in here, like, for example, like that back corner. It's also by my front door, so I try to avoid that. But out front here, the snow isn't exactly severe. Yeah. And it's not like the entire ground is covered. It may have been snowing for a couple hours at the time of filming this. I'm not quite sure. But, yeah. What else is happening? Yeah, the snow. It's just resulting in a covered ground, a wet ground. Like, for example, it is barely freezing. It is 32 degrees. If it were much colder, these wet spots, they would be ice. But it's just barely freezing right now, so... Anyway, subscribe to my channel. I have got to go now. Bye.